Hi, welcome to the latest edition of RB&D Reviews. I am Rob.
And I'm Dave.
And a couple weeks ago, the movie Maleficent came out, and of course that's the movie, the live-action movie with Angelina Jolie, where she plays the classic Disney villain, a very popular one. Neither of us have seen the movie yet, but I plan on going out and seeing it sometime soon. And hopefully we'll get a review up. And today we decided we're going to take a look at some of what our favorite Disney villains. What is it that we like about them?
One of my most favorite would be Ratigan from The Great Mouse Detective.
Very underrated one, I think.
Yeah, just his personality. I like the one. There's the one scene where they're in the beer hall or the wine hall or something, and they're all drinking and they're singing this song and everything. And of course Ratigan hates being called a rat. He'd rather be called a mouse and everything. And then this one mouse gets really drunk, and then because they're all singing Ratigan, Ratigan, the world's greatest mouse, and then he accidentally says the world's greatest rat, and then Ratigan's like, what did you call me? Yeah, that's the best part of the movie.
Yeah, but he was voiced by Vincent Price, who played a lot of colorful characters in movies, and especially horror pictures. So that's a good choice. He's not really on too many villains lists, so I'm glad you brought him up. One of my favorite villains is Jafar from Aladdin. He's very colorful, he's very swarmy, and he always has something up his sleeve, and he's good at being good to the Sultan. He's trying to advise him, and then behind his back he really wants to rule the kingdom with a heavy fist. He's such an interesting character to me, and I think Jonathan Freeman, who plays him, he brings really great color to the part. He's an interesting classic swarmy villain.
Yeah, he was fun to watch and whatnot. He's not my favorite, but he's pretty fun to watch. The Aladdin movies were pretty good. Yeah. Another favorite of mine would be Captain Hook from Peter Pan.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's another good one too.
See, he's kind of he's not really mean per se like most Disney villains. He's more cunning and clever per se, and he tries to actually make people think that he's nicer than he really is and all that.
Yeah, he's another good villain too, and I agree. I mean, again, you had a great voice actor do him, and he does. I don't know if he wants people to think that he's nice and maybe to his crew, but I mean, he hates Peter Pan and he hates the kids so very much. I don't think he cares. He just wants to get Peter Pan out of the way for one reason or another. Like he lost his hand to because of a fight involving the two of them that a crocodile ended up eating up. I don't know. That's a pretty good villain too. And speaking of a cunning villain, another favorite villain of mine is Scar from The Lion King. Now, he's very, sort of one of the more complex villains, I think, because, he's upset that he's not going to become king. He's Mufasa's, younger brother, and Mufasa's son Simba's going to take over, and he does some messed up things, like he makes, for those of you that have not seen The Lion King, these might be spoilers, so go, watch The Lion King first before going forward. He somehow tricks Simba into thinking that he killed his father, and then Scar takes over. He's a very twisted, kind of messed up sort of character.
Yeah, and he's got those crazy hyenas working for him.
Yeah, I think it's because the hyenas are banished from the Pride Land, and that's why Scar might be getting them on his side, because he promised them that he would let them into the Pride Land if he became king, and he does, and of course look what happens there.
Yeah, because Mufasa had banished them. My final favorite would be the Horned King from Black Cauldron. I know that's also one of your favorites. Because actually, you're the one that got me into the movie Black Cauldron and the books that are based off it, The Tales of Prydain, yeah, because I had never even heard of it until you had said something.
Yeah, Black Cauldron's kind of a forgotten film. It's not the greatest of Disney films, but it has a few good parts.
One of the darker characters and everything. I mean, he's kind of like a cross-class, basically, Disney character, because the movie's not even really for little kids like some of the other Disney movies, because this movie's a real dark subject matter and real kind of scary and whatnot, because of everything else that goes on in it and everything. So, but yeah, ever since I seen the movie years ago, he's always been one of my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, granted, he's not the most developed of Disney villain, but I mean, he looks scary. He wants this black cauldron so much, and these kids and this bard are keeping him from it, and it's just he is an interesting villain. And of course, John Hurt, who does the voice, also does a magnificent job.
Yeah.
My favorite villain, now this was interesting because we got people like Ursula and the Wicked Queen from Snow White, but I would definitely say my favorite villain of all time would be Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. She's a very classy villain. Look what she did. She made put a spell on a baby, so that as revenge, and she's just such an elegant, dark villain. I love the way she moves. I love the way she looks in the movie. She's very devil look-like, witch-like, and she's again Eleanor Audley, who was a radio actress, does her voice, and it was just magnificent. I would love to. I don't know quite how Angelina Jolie does it based on the trailers, but I think she's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So this new movie with Angelina Jolie is basically gonna be based off of Sleeping Beauty. Then I'm guessing.
Yeah, but from what I heard, it's got a twist. Like I don't know if you've seen the trailers, but there's a trailer where they show her backstory about how she came where she was, which I thought was kind of a spoiler. We gave you our thoughts. Now, what are your thoughts? What are your favorite and least favorite Disney villains? And go ahead and post your comments. And thanks very much for watching.